George Russell's looking for a new daddy. This is Quick Stop News. Welcome to Quick Stop News. My name is Barry Hart, and you could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with us. We appreciate that. And if you're watching this video, make sure to give it a like and a subscribe button. Oh my god, I'm fucking up my own studio. Make sure to give this a like and subscribe to the channel. Here are your headlines. George Russell's having conversations up and down the paddock. The tart. Okay, on to our headlines. And George Russell is the power player in the market for the drivers this year. He's the power bottom, or the power top, or the power versus. All we know is George Russell has the power and he's ready to wield it to seduce or to love, or to negotiate however he wants in the F1 paddock. And proof of that is that he has been fluttering his gorgeous, lovely blue eyes up and down the paddock to different suitors. Yes, Planet F1, who you don't know, are a website dedicating to farming clicks for Lewis Hamilton articles, actually wrote about someone else today, and they wrote about George Russell. And they say that George is in the paddock holding informal talks with Christian Horner with a potential move to Red Bull in 2026. Now you may be wondering, how is this the case? Well, let me give you the Barry breakdown. Okay. The Barry breakdown of the 2026 driver market goes as so. Max Verstappen is the key linchpin in all of that. George Russell and Max Verstappen are the key linchpins in all of this. One likely does not move without the other. The problem is, it is currently a marriage of inconvenience on both sides. You know, sometimes when old people, they start swinging, and the man from house A starts looking at the wife from house B across the road, he's just looking at her through the windows, peeping through the windows, looking at her. Is she getting changed? Yes, she is. Ooh. And they're looking at each other, but they can't leave wife A, husband B. Why is that? They're contracted to marriage, but it's a marriage of inconvenience. A marriage of inconvenience. Why? Max Verstappen is aware that this Red Bull may not win the title this year, let alone next year. There's only so far his Fred Flintstone feet can carry that Red Bull. Okay? He needs to get into a car capable of winning. Which car is capable of winning? Well, we all know it is the Mercedes. Rumors abound. The Mercedes engine is due to be the quickest car on the grid next season. It is a new engine regulation, still ground effect, but new engines, and we know now. Mercedes, 2014, the last time there was an engine regulation change, they had the best engine. The fastest car on the grid currently belongs to who? A Mercedes engine, despite the main team struggles, which we know is all through aero. So, what happens in a marriage of inconvenience? Who is going to break first? Is husband A going to make a decision to get rid of his wife, George Russell, get the fuck out, and tempt wife B into coming into his house? And that is what is key. Is Toto Wolff going to pull the trigger, get a divorce from George Russell, despite the fact that his contract is up at the end of this season? So it wouldn't be a messy divorce. The prenup was there already. Kick rocks, bitch, is what Toto Wolff could say to George Russell. If he does that, he would bring, and Max Verstappen is very aware, look, there's an offer on the table down the road from that dodgy guy from Canada who keeps making advances at him, but, you know, every time he's walking along in the shop, he'll be like, oh, hi, Lawrence, yes, I'm fine, no, I'm not free, Leave me alone. He's aware of the interest from Aston Martin. $300 million on the table from Aston Martin. But he's waiting for Toto, the guy he's been peeking through the windows. Is he gonna love me? Is he gonna take me? It all depends on Toto. If Toto does decide on that, Max Verstappen goes to Mercedes. That leaves George Russell with a dilemma. Let's go through his options. Okay, let's say, for example, that George Russell is ousted from Mercedes and without a contract for next year. What are his options? Well, George has been playing eeny, meeny, miny, mo with half of the F1 grid, apparently holding talks with Red Bull. Could this be an option? Now, Red Bull would be quite, considering the clashes that Red Bull, George Russell has had with Max Verstappen. Does that mean that they'll take him on? Can wounds be healed? Christian Horner seems to think so. He says that they would be fools not to be looking at George Russell. Helmut Marko, though, of course, Helmut Marko has been talking. Death, taxes, that old fart opening his mouth in front of a microphone. And he seems to have a penchant for Red Bull drivers in the Red Bull system. Would that mean what's it called? Would that mean a promotion for Isaac Hadjar? Would it mean keeping Yuki Tsunoda? We don't know on that front. Would it mean bringing back Alex Albon? Would it mean bringing back Carlos Sainz? Red Bull would have so many drivers who have previously been in that system, who are currently in that system. That move seems unlikely. Another unlikely move is McLaren. McLaren did hold a public conversation with George in the paddock in Australia, probably before it started shitting it down with rain. Imagine having a contract discussion and you're just getting absolutely pelted by Australian rain. Also, that probably brought out all the fucking snakes. Have you seen the snakes in Australia? Not for Barry, I'll tell you that for free. Nevertheless, conversations were seen. Could he be going there? They are under contract with drivers. But that would only work if Lando Norris, who Red Bull have had an interest in the past, decides to up sticks. And look, could that be the case? Could it get too hot in the kitchen for Lando Norris, given Oscar Piastri's form this season? We don't know. It could happen. Let's see. Another outside choice, though. The two choices that you would think would be more viable for George Russell. Alpine, now, having driven under high-tech, obviously owned by the Alpine team boss, you would think that could be a move. That could be a move for him there. They will have Mercedes engines, not much of a difference there. He could build that team around him. Could that be the next stop for George? Or, I mean, look, he has been speaking with Flavio Briatore. They were seen hugging. And you know, a hug from Flavio. I can imagine there was a cheeky little grab on George's pert little woody ass there. You know? And Flavio, he has a way of making things work. Building F1 teams, building championships, being the most corrupt motherfucker in the sport. He doesn't give a fuck. I like that guy. I like him a lot. I like the cut of his jib. You know? I like that Flavio Briatore looks like he will sell me something that will not work and I will just be so happy to buy it. You know? Flavio Briatore looks like he used to sell animals back in the day. Like, he will offer you a giraffe for like £20. Do you want it or not? It's a giraffe. I'm not going to say no, am I? Speaking of long necks, Stacey! And the last option, Aston Martin. If Prapastrulovic doesn't get Max Verstappen, Does he carry on with Fernando Alonso, or does he look to sign George? We will see. Nevertheless, what we're looking at is a driver market essentially based on how well Verstappen does this year, and whether Toto Wolff has the balls to cut the cord from his firstborn child. Interesting. We'll see. I'm not sure which way it's gonna go, but interesting nevertheless. And that, my friends, is Barry's breakdown. If you've enjoyed watching this show, make sure to give the button a like, smash the subscribe button. On the way to 6,000, less than 100 to go, comrades. Thank you to all the subscribers who tune into the fabulous Quick Stop F1 platform. Until next time, stay sexy. Keep it on the black stuff. Until next time.